Come up and discuss with all of you a topic called AI, and it's going to be good. I can tell you, we've been talking out there, waiting to come in here. Some great things happening, and don't get scared by AI, folks. It's already here. Okay, there's nothing to be scared of, and Andy's going to walk you through a lot of this. Well, a little of this. This is a huge topic, and it's a good thing. Connor, we're going to kick this thing off now if we can. All right, but for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator, at least for now. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your Good Neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS.
All right, and I'm having a drink of my sweet tea from McDonald's here. Thank you. This is Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show's produced at the studios of WGNS AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9 FM right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And you can reach us tonight, and you can reach Andy and Jill with your thoughts, comments at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. You can also send us a text to that number, and our producer, Mr. Connor here, will be glad to read it over there, or hand it to me, or Andy will read it for you. For those of you that might be a little bit too high or too shy and don't want to come on the air, we understand. Okay, now how do you find us? You know how you can listen, of course, on the good old-fashioned radio. Kids, if you're out in your car tonight and you're wondering, or if you're sitting at home and you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, that is the rectangular device in the dash of your car. It's called a radio. If you turn that on, you can get talk on there. Sometimes you can even get music, sometimes country, gospel, whatever you want. And then, of course, tonight at 1450 AM or these other numbers I gave you on FM, you can hear us. Now, my wife listens on Alexa. You can watch us live right now on YouTube, live at News Radio WGNS. All my broadcasts are there, and from all the rest from our station here. You can find us on Facebook Live, and we're there right now. Like I said, Stitcher, so many others. We don't have to name. My wife listens on Alexa. She just listens. She sees enough of me at the house. And I'll tell you, you can also download the WGNS app and take WGNS with you wherever you go. Listen whenever you wish. Angela Bingham was leaving, her and Angie Marie. When I came in, I was listening to their show earlier. There was Simplicity doing a great job. They're on at 6 till 7 before we get here. Always doing a great job. Tune it up, listen to it. They're on there. You can pull up her show too. Always doing a great job. Now, Andy, I've got no other things to announce. I don't guess. No. Topic, AI, in short.
Well,
Andy,
first
we've known each other a while. Go ahead.
A long time. Well, first you were making me nervous. Every time you said Alexa, I was thinking, man, he is triggering every one of those devices all over the coverage area. Like, because when that device hears Alexa, what does it do?
Well, it tunes to WGNS and Edwin Lee Raymer, I hope.
Yeah, we hope. So to your question about AI, that
right.
It stands for artificial intelligence.
Sure.
And that's different from maybe so most people's relationship to AI, or what they think is AI, might be a video game. Like, they played Tecmo Bowl and they figured out, the computer always does this if I do this, and if I do something else, then I'll win, right? That's not AI. That's an algorithm. That's something that's, if this, then I'm going to do that, right?
Sure.
The thing about AI is that it is the if this, then that, but then it learns on its own without a human programming it, what to do. So in the case of Tecmo Bowl, when you're programming it, they have to program all the possibilities of what you might do. And they have limitations technologically of doing that back in the 80s. And they had to guess what you might do. With AI, it doesn't have to guess in advance. It can learn as it goes. That's the simplest way I know how to
Right.
explain it. And that's
Sure.
learning is not just for games, but it's also for tasks like your job.
Sure.
It might
Yeah.
learn how to do that and sound just like Edwin Lee Raymer. It might learn how to pack a box. It might learn, how to write a book report.
Okay.
As my wife knows, being an educator for 12
Sure.
years, like
Right.
that's a pretty scary thing in education. But that's the general overview of AI. It is a machine that learns.
Will we see in our lifetimes? Now, I'm older than you all are. My wife and I are older than you folks are. But will we see the end of work?
We might. I mean, we might see the start of that.
Right.
Will
our children see it?
They might see a stage of it. Yeah, it's hard to put a time frame on something like that.
I mean, our son, for example, he owns Complete Yard Care. He does the dirty work. He does. He keeps places looking pretty and clean as far as outside.
Right.
The aesthetics of the place and the grass and the trimmings and all that, the shrubberies and all that. We're going to see the end of that.
I think we're seeing the beginning of that. That's why I said that about your first question is we
Right.
might be seeing the beginning of it. Because Husqvarna, the Swedish, small machine and cutter company, they make
Sure.
clippers and things like that.
Right.
They make a robot lawnmower now. So now what it won't do is it won't trim. It won't pull the weeds in the mulch.
Right.
So that's why what I'm saying, that's a good metaphor or an example of the stages that you might see. So
Sure.
you might have, instead of 10 lawn crews, you might have 2 doing the same amount of work because they're using robotic lawnmowers to cut while they're weeding and,
Right.
and
Okay. It's
trimming.
programmed to mow a certain.
Yeah, and then they go and do the finish work, and then maybe someday there's robots that do the finish work.
Because we're seeing them now. They're advertised. They're battery operated.
Yes.
So there's no cords. There's no fuel. There's no. It's.
Well, because
so-
you need a human to refuel it. But
Right.
these mowers, they dock themselves. So if you set up the dock and plug
Right.
it into power, they'll just redock every
Of
time.
all this, and this can be a wonderful thing. Okay. You have 5 children. I'm sure your wife would like to know: is it going to become a housewife? How are we going to
Well, I mean, we got
talk to the
I hope
ladies
so.
since you're okay, Mr. Smarty. All right, Mr. Smarty Pants. Tell all the ladies how they're going to.
I think
How is
so.
our-
He
how
does
are
as
their
much
lives
work
gonna
as I
be
do
in-
around the house. So
Do
he
what,
would also,
Jill?
he does as much work as I do around the house. So he would
Okay.
love.
What I'd
But
like to do.
seriously,
Yeah,
I mean,
I
you
think
know,
so. But
I'm
for
messing
us-
with Jill,
well,
but
oh,
you know.
for sure. But
Yeah.
for us, I'd like to tap into the labor force that's in our house right now.
I
Before
also-
we get to the robots.
This is, I mean, I think this is an opportunity to free up the idea of what it means to work and what labor is. Because for a small scope of humanity, we've been thinking of ourselves as workers, especially in Western civilization.
If you think about it.
It's really hard for us to wrap our minds around not being defined by our jobs
Right.
and what we do. But for a lot of humanity, we found there was something else that drove us, and there was something else we were doing. And
Sure.
so this is maybe the more unnatural way of living. It's just, I don't know. I'm excited
Right.
to see what
I
could
agree.
be coming.
I agree with you,
I
and
agree.
I'll add to that. So my grandpa, my family helped found this state. They've been here the whole time,
Right.
and my grandpa was the first one that I know of to have a paycheck job on the Dickey side of my family.
Really.
Yeah, and he didn't even have it his whole life. It was like halfway through. He's like, yeah, farming's done with. He was a sharecropper. Can't run moonshine anymore because there's liquor stores now. I mean, that's
Sure.
what happened.
That's right.
And
That's
so
exactly right.
he went and got a job at the sawmill for a paycheck, and that was he was up there in his work life. So I don't think what Jill's saying is crazy
My
at all.
family
I
history
think
is not far
yeah,
off from that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
No, it's
I
not
really,
far fetched.
but it's
No.
it's hard for us to think about because we have so much pride, especially as Americans, in what we do
Right.
and how we contribute. I think that there's just, we might need to, we might have to, we're going to have to think about a different way of viewing our
Ourselves.
worth, ourselves, and
Right.
what our worth is and how we contribute.
And Andy, you was talking about sharecropping. It is always funny to me. Now, it's not funny to a lot of people, but that was always black folks. Didn't it, in the
No,
South?
no.
Not at all.
No.
Members of my family were sharecroppers. I mean, you wanted to share a crop.
Well, I mean, the takeaway from all this is
You
the
know.
elite we have today is the same as the elite we had then. It's a small number of people,
right?
And you just look at the number of the population.
There's more populations, but it's
a lot of work. This country
percentages show the same.
Well, this country was built off the back of working people. That's the takeaway, right? Not the landowners and not those kind of folks.
What will it be built off of, in your opinion, in your humble opinion, 50, 60 years from now?
50 depends on whether you're painting a successful picture or an unsuccessful picture, because you can build a house of dirt,
Sure. Is this dangerous in any? I'm sure everything has its pros and cons. Is this dangerous?
I think it's dangerous. Like the big beautiful bill's a little scary because we can we can put aside that it grows the budget.
Yeah,
it grows the budget.
Let's just talk about the morality.
Let's
$4 trillion over the next 10 years.
Let's talk about the ban for 10 years on state and municipal governments regulating AI in any way in their control. So imagine you're sitting on the Rutherford County School Board, you're sitting on the Murfreesboro City School Board, and you can't pass an AI regulation. Is that what that means?
It's creating local governments impotent.
Yeah,
like they won't be able to do anything.
So all we've heard for years is decentralized. Personal
That's
freedom,
control, state control,
state control, back to the state, rights to the states.
Is what I
sure.
think.
Well, okay.
All I'm seeing is centralization, and why is that a problem? Like there's political reasons to hate that. Like there's some people. I'm one of them. I'm a Tennessean, so we're a live and let live state. Stay out of my private business. Regardless of party for 200 years.
As long as you're not hurting me or infringing on my rights, do what you want.
Now, what we're seeing now, and that crosses party lines. What we're seeing now is people saying centralized. So the state taking power away from places like Nashville and Memphis with charter schools and vouchers, and now they're doing it in Rutherford County and elsewhere. That's one example. This AI thing is another example, because you're education's controlled locally at the county level, across the country, right? By and large, and then you're going to rob their ability to regulate AI in your own building. Imagine being an administrator or a teacher. That's one example.
10 years.
I know, but we're back to square one. We're back to square one. So many people moved here to Murfreesboro. Now, I don't know, were your families from Rutherford County or just all over Tennessee?
My family's from southern Tennessee on the Alabama border, but I grew up in Nashville, in the city, in the heart of the city. Yeah.
But many people have moved here to Rutherford County, and Jill, you know this. They moved here because we like the school system, the county school system. Now all they're talking about is putting private schools in. If you can afford to send your child there, fine. We never felt the need to do that. Our children went to Riverdale and then graduated.
I'm a public school kid, so was Jill.
Yeah,
we got a world-class education.
Sure, and our children both have bachelor's degrees. My wife has a bachelor's in this business, believe it or not, communications and mass communications. And I make the joke all the time. I don't have a degree in anything, and I'm sitting here on Sunday night on radio. So anyway, go figure. But you're right. These boards, these local entities have to have the freedom to control this to some degree.
Yeah, for sure. And let's put it on the individual level. So in this city right now, there are issues, let's say, like where we're getting political favors and we're doing things like that. I'll give an example. Like I do it because I'm a nerd. I go online and I search for who in city government has a company that's gotten a $0 permit to build something. Now that's strange, isn't it?
Yes, right? I don't know what you're talking about.
Well,
there is someone.
Yeah, there is someone, right? But there's corruption in the city and county government. We know that. We've got a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Why not have an AI do that for us? Right? But so watch going forward what is unregulated, meaning they can do whatever they want, the people in charge of the AI, and what can I, Ed Raymer, do with the AI? That's another thing to watch.
Very good point, Andy. Very good.
Now, who controls it matters. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Now, one thing I want to point out is the next phase of AI, where we're in right now, that it looks at what's called large language models, right? It looks at the whole internet and it learns stuff, and that's the base level. It can't really do much except for answer your question. If you have a question, it'll answer it. Agentic AI is the next piece, where it's going to work on your behalf. So we spent some time arranging us to be on this show.
Sure, right.
What if my agent, my AI agent, and your AI agent got together while we were doing something we wanted to do and arranged it all and just told us the outcome?
Yeah, if we're out on the boat on the lake skiing
Yeah,
or
because it
fishing
knows
or
your
whatever.
personality, it knows my personality, it knows your schedule, it knows my schedule, and it just works it all out.
Andy, I'm sorry, son. The only people ever going to understand our personalities are our wives, and they're still wondering, what are these two up to? So anyway, one of them was silly enough to come up here and sit and watch. You know, I'm just kidding. I love Jill. I've known her now for
7 or 8
12,
years.
15 minutes. And we all have known each other for a while. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're glad that Andy and Jill are here. Thank you so much. Thank you for doing this.
Oh,
Thank
our
you so
pleasure.
much. I appreciate it. And I meant to tell you, bring anyone you want. So I'm glad you brought Jill. I am, because I forgot to tell you that.
We didn't bring the
anyone-
whole crew. It would have been 7 of
They're
us
more
and 2
welcome.
cats.
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, they're used to having kids. They let me and Mike Sparks in here. Connor babysits very well to be as young as he is. We're going to go to our first series of breaks. Ed Raymer for the Edwin Raymer Show. Andy Dick and his wife Jill are here with us. Stay with us. Back right after this. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, anything get Andy quit talking about how great that university is up there. We're talking sports and we're talking universities, and I have two UT people in here. I'm alone tonight. Boy, I sure wish somebody
Well,
would
who's
call
the
in
second?
here.
Because Jill, she's got a master's degree from OSU and a bachelor's degree, so she
From where?
OSU. She's a Buckeye.
OH. Yeah, but I still
IO.
support UT though.
Oh,
Do
definitely.
you realize you're like a thorn between two roses?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
maybe more like a rose between two thorns.
I think that's probably more accurate. Yeah.
Above
Andy Dickey's here. Jill's with us. They got 5 kids, and it's a wonder they even got out of the house tonight. I'm wondering if they've locked them up or
You got to
whatever.
space them out. That's the key. We got them old enough to look after them. Yeah, and cameras helps too.
Cameras. Okay. Kids, we're not watching you, okay? I mean, All right, and we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence. And Andy, I said to you, there's no sense, well, you and Jill both, there's no sense to be worried about this or scared of it. It's here.
Correct. And I think
So you can sit around and, what are we going to do?
well, you need to be aware. I
Be
think
aware.
I think
Right.
that's the biggest thing. And as much as it pains me, I think I appreciate Marsha Blackburn, helping with social media. We're raising 5 kids, and we're we would love to see a ban on social media until you're 18.
I wrote to her after we saw a Netflix show. It's a 4 show series called Adolescence, and it was eye-opening. And as soon as I saw that, but great actors, by the way, and if you look up
Right.
anything about the show, it was beautifully done. But I wrote Marsha Blackburn after that and said, we please watch this, because hopefully at least a movie can reach her.
And they passed this new state law,
Yeah.
no
So-
phone use in school buildings, and we welcome it.
I'm with you all. Yeah, I know.
And
I mean,
It's,
it's a
you know-
drug. I mean, we've watched it in our own house. Like what happens when you watch reels and TikToks and things like that is you get a dopamine hit.
I know.
That's why. I mean,
Yeah.
we had it in the '80s too.
Sure,
Connor doesn't know.
sure.
He just showed up on
Yeah.
planet Earth recently.
Right,
but,
yeah.
but like you play
Sure.
Mario for 4 hours and
Mario,
then
yeah.
you crash. You feel terrible. And what's happening is you're trashing your dopamine receptors up
Well,
here.
your boss just said too in Spain how they made it illegal for anyone under
16. Yeah.
16, which is like our 18, that you can't be on social media. You
Yeah.
can't even have a
And you have
phone.
age. You got to
You
have
can't
age.
even have a phone. Right.
Well,
Not
is
in
it-
school.
Not in schools.
Not in school.
Not in
Which
school.
Rutherford
I don't have a problem with that.
Rutherford
Me neither.
County's doing. They're trying to follow something along those
Yeah.
lines, and I hope that they continue on a good path to doing that responsibly, because
Sure.
I think the language in what's being written in the state could still allow for some phone use in the schools, and I just hope that they really get.
Well,
phones
I
out of the
know.
schools.
Lock
and
it all-
emer-
lock
you
it all
have
the way down.
Emergency conditions. I understand.
Well, there's a
but-
phone in every room.
I taught for
Sure.
12 years. That is a BS
Okay.
reason every single
Okay.
time someone says, "Oh, but I have to get a hold." No, just like we all did for all these years. And the best thing I ever heard was when someone said, "Oh, well, I want to be able to call my kid and tell him goodbye if there's a school shooter." That is not a valid reason for having
let's-
a phone.
let's attack
think
the
a
real
little bit
issue.
more upstream,
Yeah.
than
Well, that's
you
not
get to say
even
your goodbyes.
to be and
But that's
not
what
to
I've heard.
belittle the
As
point.
a teacher,
Yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
That was their valid reason.
That's not even a full 1% of all the students. That's,
Well, it's a
thank
risk
goodness
reward.
It's rare, but I understand.
It's a risk reward thing. Like,
Yeah.
so the chances of that happening are low. They're
Sure.
too high that they even
Right.
exist, but they're low. The chances of your child developing some sort of developmental disability because they're overstimulated from this device
and not at
are,
the least.
are across society. And I hate to pick on kids.
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time. We're at a restaurant, and grown folks are not even talking to each other. They're just on their phones.
Andy Dickey, this happened years ago. My wife and I went out and we went to used to be a little steakhouse out here. We went to across from Staples out there, and anyway, we went in and sat down. The dad had his laptop and his phone. The mom had her phone, and the 2 kids had a phone. And Joni and I sit there, and they were just.
And it's a worldwide
And
problem. It's
yeah.
not just American.
Yeah, it's
And
worldwide.
I don't think during our entire meal, I watched them, and I asked John, I said, have those people even spoken to their children? If their children even said hello? They did not even say anything except when the waitress came to place the order. That's about it.
Yeah.
I said, that's no way to be living, man.
What kind of people are we growing in an
Yeah, I
environment
know.
like that?
I agree,
How do
we
they
just got back-
socialize?
We just got back from London, and very diverse. I was blown away by the diversity. My first time.
They
he's
say
been
it's
there-
great. I'd love to
He's
go.
been there so many times. But
Sure,
we saw
sure.
so many different types of people, and there were so many different types of people glued to their phone. There were also, it was refreshing though to see a lot of youth getting
Yeah.
away from that. I do think that the pendulum
Kissing.
has
Kissing,
holding
holding hands on the
talking at dinner
sidewalk.
and not having phones out. Like I think
Yeah.
that there's hope, but we're seeing the maximum of just being totally involved in our phones.
This is my worry as an American. So I have worries as a dad. I have worries as a Rutherford Countyan, as a Tennessean. But like this is like my American worry is that other people will solve this and we won't, and then we'll be in a weak position.
That'll put me.
I know.
I'm an Army
Yeah.
brat. I'm always thinking in those terms, you know.
And Americans, we've always loved being first.
Correct, and
You
I
know.
think
We're
we might
lagging
not.
right here.
I think we're
Right.
lagging in this department, and we need to think long and hard about it.
Good point. We got a phone call. Speaking of Tennessee, hello, caller.
How's it going, Mr. Raymer?
Hey, we were just talking about you.
Well, that's okay. I want to say about the cell phones. The deal is that every county school system has to have a plan, which what it basically is those of them that can't have it during the school day, they got to have it put up until the end of the school day. That's basically what the deal is. This goes into effect 1st of July, like all these.
Jeff, you have to speak up just a little bit. We can't hardly hear you.
I said the cell phone ban.
Right.
The schools, each school system has to come with a plan of doing it.
Okay.
Yeah, whether it's book bags or special
whatever
lockers,
they
you're
do.
right.
But most of it is like they can't have it during school day until the end of the school day.
What do you think? What do you think about it, Jeff?
I don't have any. I don't have any kids. I ain't worried about it.
Well, you still got an opinion, don't you?
I don't think they should have them. But I mean,
Amen.
I guess for emergencies. So I don't know. I mean, we didn't.
Nothing's
have,
that emergency.
We
really.
Yeah.
We didn't have all that stuff. Back
We
when
didn't,
I-
did we?
Back when I was in school, we still survived. We didn't have the internet either. We still survived. I don't know how, but.
And
Well,
if you were
I'm
supposed
older,
to get milk
you
going
know.
on the way home and you forgot it, you just forgot it.
I mean,
Really?
Risk and reward.
Strong carry. You know all about that, right? Ed?
I know all about that. Let me tell you what I do know about. I know you keep the Kentucky and Tennessee schedules handy. How's Kentucky looking over Tennessee? Because this is a good time to really rub it in.
Well, we won twice the regular season, but see, they beat us in the state tournament. They still didn't go to the Final Four though. So when you got regular season,
Yeah, we can rub that in.
Valid point. I just want to say valid point, Jeff.
When you got regular season, Rick, that's what he got going to the Final Four. I done told you. You know, the only time he went was Kevin Durant. He only played 1 year.
The man speaks the
He
truth.
had all that down. He had ran out, learned how to follow
Where's
that.
the anti-Tennessee bias?
Keep going, Jeff.
You're not Kentucky in basketball. Just deal with it. We're the best. You know it, and I know it.
Well, and then on top of that,
You can take your knee and stay in checkerboard and go somewhere.
Yeah, keep going, Jeff.
Listen, you
Jeff,
guys made the
please.
playoffs. You guys made the playoff last year, and now they're all over Heupel. They're all over him, but they think they figured out his offense.
It could be because he's the greatest of all time.
When you go 8-4 this year and start howling him, we'll see what happens then.
It could be because he's the greatest of all time, Jeff. Have you ever considered that?
Who's that? Who is it?
Heupel, he could be the greatest of all time. Have you ever?
Really?
Yeah, you have to consider it.
Bobby Hill.
He looks like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill.
okay, yeah, okay.
I mean, what's the beef there? I mean,
How many years has he coached? 4?
all the years that matter, Jeff.
Somebody had a Butch Jones. Now he's going to kick your, and he's going to kick your Butch Jones. Remember that? And remember Derek Dooley? He taught him how to shire and go to World War II stories. Remember him?
I do. Sometimes I wish I didn't remember it, but I do.
He couldn't coach out a paper bag, could he? His father was pretty good. He couldn't coach out a paper bag, I can tell you right now.
Okay, Jeff, I want to thank you for calling. And
love
we
you, man.
appreciate-
Y'all have a good day talking about that.
Love you, man.
I'll talk to you later. We do love you. Okay, thanks so much. Jill, you're a school teacher. Will you get me some Tylenol, please?
From the stash.
And a bottle of Jack Daniels and a straw, too.
I don't think we're allowed to administer that.
I hate to say this between the Kentucky and Tennessee people. Poor O'Connor, he's just shaking his head. And Jill's the only one up here. But she's the Ohio State person, so we're going to leave it her to nurse us back to health. But okay, we do. I think we got out of that. Kentucky is the dominant factor here.
Yeah.
It was settled.
I gotta have you.
I tried something different. I
Hey.
tried to agree with him to see if I could get him to stop, and you see, it didn't get him to stop.
It's a disease, man. I'm telling you. Hey, let me tell you. You know, and really, what we're talking about here with this AI, sports can be the part that helps break this thing up. We all love watching sports. We love seeing our kids. You know, when all of us now, my wife and I are older than y'all, but our kids play. Chris Harris is the athletic director, I guess, still of Rutherford County Schools. Great guy. Played at MTSU. Was on the team that beat my Wildcats years ago, and he reminds me of that every time he sees me. And whatever. And but our kids played baseball together out at Christiana when they were, I don't know, neck and I don't know, 10, 12, 13, whatever. We bump into each other occasionally now at the grocery store. The kids are grown. Our son's 38. And we still, hey, man, you remember we used to get those ball games over there and we'd go to Christiana? It's all we talk about.
Yeah, I mean
we
some
don't-
of my closest friends are guys that I coached with.
Yeah.
Or that my kids were on the same team. And
I bet.
Jill coached at a very high level for a long time, women's basketball, PJP, Pope
right.
John Paul II, and up in Ohio, and you're a player. I think our concern, though, is specialization. Because
Right.
all this travel
Yeah.
ball stuff,
Oh,
we
Lord.
we
Yeah.
like to see multi-sport athletes in our house, although we're not always
Right.
successful.
I do want to see AI replace all referees and umpires, though.
Spoken
They should
like a true
not be a
athlete.
part of the game.
No.
Take the humans
No.
out
Yes,
of
I
it.
take
like
the
to
humans
leave.
out of that.
No,
Just- no.
Human error is part of it,
No,
Jill.
it's not. It's not.
Okay, Connor, cut her mic off. All right.
Hey, not even balls and strikes, Ed?
Yeah.
You'd rather have some
I-
bad
You want
balls
some
You
and
know-
strikes?
subjectivity in that?
You know, if they call
The
it
one
in my
thing you can't
favor, I'm all
argue.
no. If they called in my favor, I'm all for it.
Oh,
But
okay.
now, I
You're
just
right in
like
the algorithm.
no. I like the human element to leave it in.
She knows, me too. But I think some of the things when so much is on the line, like if we didn't have so much
I know.
money tied to it, so now it's not just gambling or player salaries, it's scholarships and stuff for regular people. So I'd like to
I
see
know.
It's also my
some more-
heart on the line, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just,
And then if you
Oh,
could-
players,
no.
no, you're supposed to be as an arbiter. You know, they're supposed to be objective.
right down the middle.
Yeah, and it's impossible to do. That doesn't mean you don't give them excuses and say, I understand that human error is a part of the game. But if we can take that away, why wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, how long?
Yeah,
How many years did
right.
it? We talk about this all the time. How many years did it take the MLB to get rid of Angel Hernandez?
Oh, my
you know?
goodness. What
Like
a-
the worst
Right.
ump I've ever seen at any
Jesus
level.
Pete's, yeah.
And he's at the MLB. I mean, the
Yeah.
guy was the worst.
And
Yeah.
every county basketball league has
Has
one
one.
of those too. So yeah.
Let the computer do it,
Just
Jill
please,
says.
please. I'll give it. I'll give the machines. All
You
the
want to
power.
give the machines over to sport?
Yeah. That's their way. That's their wedge. That's their
Let
way in
let
the
the
door.
players play is what you're really saying.
Exactly, yeah, that's
let
what it's
them play.
about.
Well, no, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that, Andy. Let them play. There's
Yeah.
time, and this thing that basketball is not a contact sport, that went out the door
Oh, tell
when
me
I was
about it.
playing, for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
I mean, man, and I will tell you one thing I learned in basketball, and well, in football too, but to say that women out-talk men, that's a bunch of bull. You get on a basketball
Lord.
court.
Get in a football huddle. I mean, I was a center from the whole way through. I mean, I played other positions, but the main one was center. Try to shut a bunch of boys up in
Hey,
the
I
huddle.
was a
you know?
nose guard. You're the guy I drove into the ground every play, didn't I?
Oh, well, I don't know about all that. Unless your name's John Henderson. I don't know.
Oh,
He
me.
used to love to do that to me.
Oh,
He knocked me out one
Lord,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Cold.
I'm telling you, we're talking with Andy, Dickey, and Jill. Jeff, try and recover from your wounds, son. Refresh and refuel. I'll talk to you next week or later in the week. AI, what about locally here? Where does this go? What is involved in, Andy, that you can see?
I have a few concerns. One is we're very, as you know, long on logistics as a
Sure.
business and manufacturing as a business.
Right.
And logistics alone, like every day I get in my inbox because I'm in the space of building factories and doing this kind of
Sure.
thing. And something else is closed. It's a Kohl's fulfillment center in Mason, Ohio. It's
Right.
this
Okay.
thing and that thing somewhere. And what's causing that? Well, it's the same reason that every time you get on a plane now, it's full. You know, they're using technology to fill all the seats. Well, they're also using things like AI to optimize their supply chain, and then what they
Getting a maximum yield.
Correct. And what Kohl's realizes is that we can do fulfillment out of the stores because we don't have to have someone code all this and do all this analysis because AI can do it for us. We don't need the fulfillment center. We'll just fulfill these online orders out of these 18 stores. And so all of a sudden, 800 people, well, it wasn't Mason, it was Monroe. So all of a sudden, 800 people in Monroe, Ohio are out of a job. Well, you know, you look at what our ecosystem looks like in Rutherford County, it's worrisome. Right. Not only from AI, but AI-driven robotics is really the killer in manufacturing and logistics.
Okay.
And then I look at our political landscape, not everyone, but the majority, city council, county commission, and I'm like, Lord have mercy, this isn't any better than the U.S. Senate. In the U.S. Senate, they have to have email explained to them, you know,
US
still.
Secretary of Education, the wife of a WWE wrestling
I
organization,
know,
was calling it A1.
Like the steak
like
sauce.
the steak sauce instead of AI. Multiple
My wife
times.
and I looked at each other like, you know,
times.
A1, we couldn't, I said, you know, come on,
You
man.
know what, if you don't know what you're talking about, maybe you shouldn't.
You know, for goodness sakes, you all know me. I'm not as well versed on this as you are, Andy. I don't have a degree in anything. Seriously, I don't. But A1, come on, man.
Yeah,
I know.
I mean, if I hear that stuff in business across the negotiating table, and I'm at that table almost every day.
Yeah,
I'm thinking I'm gonna run the.
You're
table.
gonna run.
I'm gonna run the table on this.
We're gonna run the
this
table on
geezer
it.
right here.
Sure, why not?
Oh, what was that? What was
Did you tell everyone what you?
Oh, so we make a robot that does layout for construction.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, sure.
And you put the drawing in it and it paints it on the floor. So the biggest thing that it does, it doesn't eliminate people. It just gets them up off the floor. I mean, because I've known guys that have had 3-4 knee replacements from crawling around on concrete floors, popping chalk lines, getting lung cancer from the chalk. It's better now. They use a different kind of chalk and stuff, but.
Well, you can use a laser sighter now and things of that nature too.
Yeah, and I don't want to say the company I work for, but it's a big name. Most people have our stuff in their house. But, you know, what I like about what we're doing is a people-first focus. And when I talk about AI, I want people to have a people-first focus. I spent a lot of time in Silicon Valley in my career, and what I can tell you of the people that I know, like Zach Cass that just left OpenAI to do his own thing. Like, really, what he's doing now is warning everybody about AI now that he's left there in a lot of ways. But these people in Silicon Valley, they don't let their kids use this stuff. They don't let them use Facebook. They don't let them use ChatGPT. They don't let them use any of it because they know the dangers.
Even in their schools, the
and
paper and pen.
Yeah, and we tightly control it at our house. Why? Because I know. You know, I wrote my first computer program in 1985. So I've been watching the whole thing.
Sure.
We know, like, it's good in certain doses, in certain cases, but it's not.
But Andy, you're not a geek.
Oh,
yes,
he is.
You think so?
Well,
you're a nerd.
You guys can have that.
Maybe in a certain way, but I mean, you got common sense too.
Oh yeah.
And you're trying to apply it to your children. You realize, you know. I mean,
well,
you
they do
spend time
too.
with kids and all that.
Yeah,
I mean, there's guys that don't.
The guys that make this stuff. That's the key point I want to make.
Right.
The guys making this stuff don't let their by and large do not let their kids use it. That should be a red flag.
Right. Yeah, and let people know.
And they don't get on TV or Joe Rogan's podcast and say that.
Yeah.
But when you're at a cocktail reception with them, they spill the beans. Like, oh no. Or if they're at a conference and they're giving a keynote and it's 50 CEOs in the audience, they'll talk about it, but not widely because they don't want to kill the goose that laid the golden egg because they make a lot of money. You
have the Stargate project. Trump and Son and Ellison, Larry Ellison, Sam Altman, agreeing to set aside $500 billion over the next 4 years.
It's $500 billion.
$500 billion.
Yeah, $500 billion.
$500 billion over the next 4 years.
We're about to gear up on a project in Abilene, Texas called Ludicrous, kind of like the Ludicrous Tesla. It has nothing to do with Tesla, but it's a huge data center, and Oracle, who's in the process of moving their global headquarters from Texas to Nashville, Tennessee on the east bank of the Cumberland.
Right.
They just placed a PO with NVIDIA for $40 billion worth of AI chips for that data center. So $40 billion doesn't cover the construction, the power to run it, and all those things.
$40 billion.
So it's serious. I mean, if that doesn't prove how serious, and that's part of Stargate. Stargate is the program. So we had the CHIPS Act under Biden, which was all about repatriating chip manufacturing and those kind of things, which is good. But by and large, those are going to be roboticized or automated, whatever you want to call it, factories.
Right.
And now we have all these data centers. It's a data center boom right now, and it's all around AI and having the computing power to use it.
Now, what will this mean? Again, I ask you, when will this be the end of work? Because we have a lot of people that are talking about this. When will we get to the point that this radio station exists, but there's nobody here? Is that possible?
I think it's possible, but what you're finding is how interesting is the content.
I know.
You know,
I
we talk
agree.
about our kids on social media. You know, a lot of what they're interacting with, and us too, is not real.
But we can sniff it out, a lot of it.
Yeah.
The more,
And we find it uninteresting in the
Yeah,
end.
and
So I don't
I
think
just-
that
yeah,
content
it's
creators
running
like
interest.
like yourself, I think you got a job for a while because it's
Well,
interesting.
Here's the thing. We went through this in the 70s, in 75, 76. We had a radio station that was across the river over in Evansville, and they went to recorded programming. In other words, they still had people that were on the air, but they were primarily rock, and people could tell you what songs they were going to hear next because everybody had memorized,
Like the supermarket,
Yeah.
if you worked in a supermarket. Yeah.
You know what you're going to hear next. So that's not entertaining. It's not informative. I mean, you may like the song,
Yeah.
but you know what I'm saying? I have always enjoyed being, and I want to tell you, and I want to get your opinion on this. Now, we had no idea we were going to talk about this. He had no idea folks was going to ask him this. I believe that radio may make a comeback in this thing.
It may. Yeah. I mean, podcasts.
I mean,
They're it's radio.
everybody's
It's radio.
got one.
It's radio.
Hey, I got one, big
But
deal.
it's radio.
But I always enjoyed and thought the concept of you being here, actual people being in a station, creating what we're creating right now, and may not be worth a doggone to anybody but us. But I think there's a place for that. And I think the room for that is getting larger.
yeah, it's becoming more. People are wanting that. I read that too.
Yeah.
People that really having something. It's going to become much more valuable to have a transaction face to face and know that you're with a human on the other end.
Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I mean, we have to take training all the time because we face what's called a phishing attack, where they're
Right.
trying to pretend to be doing something and get you to give the bank account number. Well, that doesn't just happen to
Yeah,
individuals.
right,
It happens
yeah.
at the corporate level too.
Sure.
So
sure.
so we, a long story, but we were hanging out with Teresa Payton. She was GW's CIO, and talking to her. She said that she runs a security firm now, and she said one of her clients faced one of these phishing attacks, and it was a video call, and the thing looked like her CEO and sounded like him. You know? Like, how do you combat something like that? And one of the things she told me over a beer was that if cybercrime was an economy, it would be the third largest economy in the world. So, and everybody's grandma, grandpa are falling victim to this stuff. It matters everywhere.
My
Sure it
father
does.
fell victim to it.
Really?
Oh yeah. Yes, and it's a very pervasive, I think, in especially the senior community.
Very.
Because it's harder for them to sniff out. And
Right.
I mean,
Okay.
and they're getting taken advantage of. They're getting gift cards and going to the, and they're sending them overseas.
Okay.
Yeah, it's happening. So.
Telling you. Yeah.
I mean, we had CUD get hacked that time,
Right.
the school
Yeah.
system, it's very real.
Well, I've just felt there's a place for face-to-face interaction,
Yes, I do too.
and I think this is one place that we can start. And I felt that way. By the way, what is next Sunday? What is today? Tonight's the
29th,
29th.
I think. Yeah.
Next Sunday will be 14 years I've been here.
Oh,
You
great.
know.
Congratulations.
No, you don't say that.
It's also George's birthday.
It's
No.
our
Is
youngest's
that-
birthday. She's turning 7. Yeah.
Turning 7. Okay, now that is something to celebrate. Okay, not with me being here. Look, Connor, like, who is this old guy anyway? But I mean, we saw, and I'm standing up for radio now, and that's not why you're here tonight. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. But in the 70s, we saw this. I was talking about programmed radio. It was program FM. Well, FM, that's the end of AM, and AM took a dive for a little while. and then it started back. Well, then we had FM stereo. Well, AM took another hit for a while, And then we had CDs. We all went through the 8-track era. When I first started 14 years, they still had 8 tracks up here. They weren't using them. Don't get me wrong. But they were still here. It's hard to believe. You used to walk in the radio station, everything was 8 tracks. That's the way it was. Advertising, commercials, all of it. And then here came the internet. Now we're all on the internet. Well, all of radio is dead now. Well, not necessarily. And I have a friend, and he might be listening tonight. He's in East Tennessee. And he told me, and I'm tooting my own horn here because everybody knows politically where I stand. I don't make any bones about it. And he said, Ed, and I talked to him one Sunday night after the show. He called me, and or maybe I forget. I don't know, forget. Anyway, we were communicating, and he said, I've looked all over this state, and you're the only guy doing what you're doing.
Wow. That's shocking, Ed.
Yeah. It is.
Including Shelby County, too.
Yeah.
Like Memphis.
Right.
Get the
There's no
classifieds
one.
read aloud anymore?
No.
That was...
What?
The classifieds, it was like a things for sale when I first moved here. I thought that was great.
Great St. Aura one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I think it is. It's
just,
yeah.
We don't have them anymore.
Oh,
yeah.
that's too bad.
Yeah.
No more Shop and Swap?
They still got Shop and Swap, no? Yeah.
Well, I can rest easy tonight then. You had me going there for a second. I was worried.
No, I think it's one of the longest running radio broadcasts in the country.
It reminds me of the shipping report in the UK. Like every night at like 2 a.m. when you're coming home from a party, they play the wind forecast for all the fishermen and stuff like that just off the coast.
The wind forecast.
Yeah, it's like west by west, and it's very calming and to put you to sleep. Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing against Shop and Swap, but it's kind of in that same family a little bit. Unless there's somebody crazy that calls in, that's always fun.
Well, I had someone add, they said one time in a meeting, I don't know, I could listen to Ed Raymer just read all night.
Oh, Ed Raymer ASMR. You need a YouTube channel, man.
And go to sleep.
Yeah.
I thought you'd go to sleep listening to me. For God's sakes, how bad is it, man?
Well, there's certain frequencies,
That's called boring. We're going to go to our last break. We're with Andy Dick and his wife, Jill. She's good enough to come up and be with us. Connor's on the board. Ed Raymer, the Evan Lee Raymer Show, back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or AA.org.
Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. All right, we are back. Ed Raymer with you. Andy, Dickie, and Jill's here. We got a caller on the line. Caller, please go ahead. You're with us.
Hello, Ed. It's Terry.
Hello, Terry. I got a fan of yours up here.
Good.
Well, he's a Tennessee fan. I don't know if he's a fan of yours.
I just was reading this article dated September 4th of 24. It said 2.9 billion people may have had their personal financial data compromised. And this was because of a breach from a company called National Public Data, who failed to properly safeguard information. It's scrapped, the lawsuit says. Can you imagine 2.8 billion people? You know that means just about everybody in this country has been hacked. Wouldn't
Sure.
you think?
I would think so.
I think so. What, a population of, what, 8 billion now? 7 billion?
In the world. Yeah,
That's a bunch. That was in
and we're
21.
probably the most connected of any
Right,
society.
sure.
So, yeah. That sounds about right, everybody.
I'm just thinking, who but our own government has the capacity to do this?
Good question.
No
I don't
one.
know.
We have this conversation at home all the time. It's no one. The government has to do it. And that's why this moratorium on passing any state and local regulations in the so-called Big Beautiful Bill is a problem.
Right.
Only the government can do it because, just like you've said repeatedly, I don't follow this AI stuff. I don't
Right, yeah.
Well, I don't follow my portfolio, my stock portfolio. That's
Sure.
why I don't invest in individual stocks generally, unless it's something I know about.
Yeah, sure.
Because I have a day job and I'm a dad and a husband and all those kind of
Right.
things. This is the same thing. We need to be able to trust our government to get out ahead of this thing. That's really what instead of sitting down because they're being paid to sit down, we need them to get out ahead of it.
Sure.
Not to stop it, but to
Right.
regulate it. I mean, you can't have unfettered capitalism when it comes to something.
yeah.
When it comes to
Right.
something this powerful, you cannot have it.
And
Terry,
we've got no privacy left in this country with cameras, AI, and all these electronics everywhere you go. They can track us with the phone. They can do everything they want now. And now that Social Security's been raided and Treasury's been raided, God knows what they're doing with all that data.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the
Sure.
thing that we should be most scared of in this regard when it comes to security breaches is quantum computing.
Well, and I think one thing, Andy, that Terry's getting at, Terry, correct me if I'm wrong, I think when you say they've been raided, not of the money, but of the data.
Both.
Yeah, both.
Both.
too.
Well,
but
true.
yes, that's probably what you said.
Yeah, I mean, the
both.
data as well. I mean, I think, so I want to make sure I share this, that quantum computing is going to, we're on the cusp of it. It's already happened. But I mean, as far as the commercialization of it, it's going to render passwords obsolete. So,
Okay.
as we
Yeah.
know them. So 10 years from now, you will not enter a password.
Which I'm fine with that.
Yeah, it'll be something
tired of
biometric,
having
and
10
whether you
passwords.
want it or not. Because the computer will be so powerful, it'll take it what we used to take it years to crack your password, it'll take seconds, if even that.
Now, what is a password?
It's ABC.
Password 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, ABC 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
Terry, do you have anything else? I thank you so much. We're down to less than 4 minutes to go.
Well, just people need to be made aware. Even new cars track you. I mean, there's just we're going to be in a big brother society. Well, we already are.
Well, really,
And
yeah.
people just need to be made aware of
I think
it.
there should be protected areas where we shouldn't have Wi-Fi, broadband,
Right.
anything
Yeah.
like that. Camera, like there should be areas that are protected.
I wondered if payphones would make a comeback. I'm thinking about starting a company.
We saw a few in England, and they all
Really?
and I've been there so many times. They all went away for a time, but there's quite a few of them back.
Right.
Yeah.
Terry,
Well,
anything else?
no, sir. You all have a great evening.
Go
Thank you,
Vols.
sir.
Go Vols.
GBO.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Thank you, my friend. Terry Livingston in Knoxville, Tennessee. You know, he's like family. Speaking of family, y'all got 5 kids.
We do, and they're sat in the living room, and I want to give them a shout out. So
Sure.
we go one by one. So John, the oldest, he is a Central Magnet graduate, and he is at the University of Tennessee at Knoxville.
My nephew is as well. Central
Shocker,
Middle.
right?
Fantastic.
He's going to
Yeah.
solve this supply chain issue.
Yeah,
Is
he-
Dr.
Tons of money
Ash
doing it.
still there?
He is.
Fantastic
So
person.
John's going to finish in 3 years. I got to keep going because he got a lot of kids and run out of time. So Isaac's at Central Magnet. He's doing great. He's on the
Right.
student council, and he's active politically with our common
Yes,
friend
he is.
Stephen Reynolds and that sort of thing.
And Steve Cates.
And Steve
Steve
Cates.
backs him all the way.
Oh, for sure.
Yes,
yeah.
of course.
Hayden, he is the middle child, and he is learning the guitar. He's doing great in school. He's getting ready to start high school.
Have him give me a call.
Oh, is that?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Hallie is on the wait list at McFadden. She loves school, and she is the old
Okay.
woman in our house. She's like a little meemaw running around all the time,
Uh-oh.
wants to be with the grown-ups. You know the type.
Sure.
And then Georgia, she's brilliant. She's about to turn 7, and she is a world-class singer. And, I don't throw something like that around lightly, so we enjoy it.
And she is one birthday next Sunday.
Yep. She's
Yep.
7
Next
years
Sunday,
old.
the 6th.
Yeah. 2 cats.
Happy birthday.
Making
2
it happen.
cats.
Yeah.
Any dogs?
No, not with our lifestyle. We travel a lot, so the
I
cats.
like dogs and cats equally.
Well,
I'd
we're
like to
going to
say.
get you.
Yeah.
I don't like to
We're
be
going to work
pigeonholed.
on that. Stephen Reynolds, if you're listening, look for some dogs out there. Just pick
Well,
up
he'd
some.
be the one watching them, so he might not be too helpful on that.
Right, he's got 2.
Yeah, he's already got 2 of his own. So
I cannot thank you all enough. We have run out of time. It is so good to see you both. It really is.
I forgot
And
one thing. One
yes.
more thing with
Go ahead.
a little bit of time. I'm sorry about that. So my oldest son, who's at UT, is 20. He had this idea about starting a PAC, a political action committee,
Yes,
to support
yes.
local and state candidates.
Right?
And this lady to my right here said, "Okay, let's do it." And so they did it. And so that's what they're doing.
With the volunteer party
Yeah.
pack, and it's
Right. I've
going to
seen
be
that.
focusing on
Right.
local issues and getting to dinner table, issues and really funding candidates that are going to make change locally.
I knew this is what we were getting at. She's getting ready to hit me up for money, folks. So it's time to go. Connor, get us out of here, if you will, with some music.
Yeah.
Ed Raymer with you for the Emily Raymer Show. Thank you, Andy Dickey. Thank you, Miss Jill. So good to see both y'all, really, in spite of the topic we're talking about. And, folks, till next Sunday night, this is Ed Raymer for the Emily Raymer Show, and the next Sunday night, 8 o'clock. I'll catch you down the